This is the story of Queen Charlotte and the baby otter pup. So Queen Charlotte went to the beach, and it was a big, wide, flat pool, and there weren't any waves at all. And that meant that it was a safe place for Charlotte to swim with Mama. And Charlotte and Mama went down to the water, and they saw a tidal pool, which meant there were rocks, and seashells, and starfish, and sea urchins. And it also meant there was a mama sea otter and her little sea otter pup. And Charlotte said, "Mama, Mama, Mama, can I please play with the sea otter?" And Mama said, "Well, we have to let them alone and let them do their own thing. But if you want to talk to them, you can." And so Queen Charlotte waded into the water up to her knees, and she said, sea otter, hello, hello." And the sea otter pup looked at her and went, "Beep." And Charlotte said, "Mama, it went beep." And the sea otter pup said, "Beep." And then it went back over to its mama sea otter and held its hand. And they floated together and just looking at the sky. And Mama said, "Charlotte, do you want to float like a sea otter?" And Charlotte said, "I can try." And so she got on her back, and she spread out her arms and her legs, and she looked up at the sky, and she floated, just bobbing on the water like a sea otter pup. And the sea otter pup thought that was very funny, and it came over and said, "Beep." And Queen Charlotte said, "Oh, don't worry, sea otter pup. I'm just floating like you did." And sea otter pup said, "Beep, beep." And Charlotte said, "Oh, are you afraid to put your face in the water?" And the sea otter pup nodded its head and said, "Mm-hmm." And Queen Charlotte said, "Don't worry. All you have to do is turn over and put your chin in the water like this." And Queen Charlotte put her chin in the water and went, and the sea otter pup said, "Beep," and turned over on its soft belly and put its little whiskery chin in the water and went, and Charlotte said, No, you're doing good. After you put your chin, you can put your mouth, and then your nose, and then you can blow bubbles. Watch, like this." And Queen Charlotte put her face in the water and went, and it made a lot of bubbles, and the sea otter pup said, "Beep!" And it swam back to its mama, and its mama gave it a little pet and said, "No, it's okay, it's just a little girl, and she's making bubbles with her mouth. Go try." And the sea otter pup went back to Charlotte and said, "Beep," and got back on its belly and put its face in the water and went, and Queen Charlotte laughed and laughed and laughed because it was so funny to see a sea otter pup blow bubbles. And after that, the sea otter pup was brave. And Queen Charlotte said, "Can you put your eyes in the water?" And the sea otter pup did, and blew more bubbles, and Charlotte laughed, and the seagulls laughed and went, and Queen Charlotte laughed, and the sea otter pup went, "Beep!" And after that, the sea otter pup wasn't afraid of the water at all. And so the sea otter pup looked down on the bottom of the bay, and he could see all the starfish, and he could see the sea urchins, and everything. And so the sea otter pup said, took a big breath of air, and then dived into the water. And it went splish, and she went down, and he touched all the starfish, and he touched all the fish. And Queen Charlotte said, "Mama, can I go in the water too?" And Mama said, "Charlotte, if you want to, you definitely can. I'll be right here in case you need me." And so Queen Charlotte put her face in the water, and she saw the fish, and she took her face back out and took a big, deep breath, and then went, and she swam down into the water as far as she could, which wasn't very far, but that's okay. And she got to touch a starfish. And she's like, "Oh, yeah, whew, that was too deep. That was too deep. Whew, that was fun." And Mama said, "Yeah, and you can just float up here with me if you want." And so they floated in the water, and they watched the sea otter pup go down and brush its whiskers on the sea urchins and go, "Oh, it feels so nice." And then it would come back up and hold its mama's hand and say, "Beep!" And Charlotte would look at the sea otter pup and say, "Beep, beep!" And Mama gave Charlotte a big hug and said, "Oh, sweetie, you're so brave, and you're such a good swimmer." And then they gave a big hug, and they waved bye-bye to the sea otter pup, and they came back up on the beach to get warm, and Mama read her a story, and they had some snacks with some apples and some chocolate milk, because Mama packed it special for Charlotte. And they had a very nice time, and they had a nice warm nap on the beach, and Charlotte stretched out and went, feels so good. And then Charlotte turned to Mama and said, beep! And Mama laughed and laughed and laughed. The end. Night night, honey. I love you.